shouted. Dad finished my work and asked his wife to make him feel nervous. He realized that he was still. I haven't completed the task assigned by my wife. But when I see my son again, he can't do it for me. A little more time. You can wait, but your son can't wait. It's best to solve it quickly. Otherwise the plan will be ruined. Don't rush to hurry up. You can't do it, just solve it slowly. Don't let us down. After hanging up, my dad leaned on. The person who got into the car seat felt torn by Jiang. He didn't know what to do because now both were important to him. But the next day my novel became more and more popular. There was even a publisher who wanted to negotiate the publication of the book. So the next morning I to the publisher to sign the contract. After signing it and walking out of the building, I suddenly saw 2 policemen standing in front of him. Is Lu Zhou right? We suspect you are involved in a theft. Please follow us. I am stunned. I didn't expect this situation to happen in front of me. Was there any mistake? I didn't do anything. Just cooperate in investigating the incident. It will be clarified. We only followed the regulations. One of the 2 policemen said to the face. The expression didn't give me a chance to protest. They quickly took me to sit in the interrogation room. I still don't understand. What's going on? You arrested me for what reason? I asked the policeman, his face full of worry. He was injured in a case. Stealing with the amount involved up to 3 million yuan. I am a good person. I have nothing to do with this at all. Rest assured they. I was just suspicious and wanted to investigate. We will not falsely accuse the good people, but will also not spare the bad guys. When I hear the police say that the report. He reported me because he thought that his card was lost and the money from the card had been transferred to my account. Cheng Jiahu didn't expect him to use this trick. It turned out that he gave me a card to let me transfer money online. But again told the police that I had eaten the cable card. I explained to the police, if I ate his cable card, how do I know password? If I really want to get money, I can go to the ATM to withdraw money. I don't need to go online to do anything and to do it. Currently, I have to steal his phone as well. My arguments are quite. The logic made the police frown at thought. Then another police officer walked in and whispered in the interrogator's ear. The policeman looked at me and said he could go. I was surprised. I didn't expect to be released so quickly. I thought I would have to explain more to prove my innocence. When I walked out of the interrogation room, I saw Shen Lemeng waiting in the sun. It was then that I understood why I was released so quickly. Not only because of the lack of evidence, but also because of the power of the Shen Lemeng and the team of lawyers she brought with. Shen Lemeng walked up to me and said sorry that I was late. But there is a gift for him. What kind of gift is it? I asked low curiously. She just laughed. His red lips curled up slightly. At the same time, in the nanny car of the family friend just finished participating in an event and sitting looking at the letter that the manager gave him. This is the script. Why did he ask the manager? Mr. Chen sighed. Is not. Lawyer Cheng Jiahu was stunned, dropping all the letters on the floor. Who sent them? Lu Zhou, the manager, explained that Cheng Jiao was surprised. Didn't he be arrested? Why was he released? Because it is not enough. And now that Lu Zhou is suing us for slander, Cheng Jiahu only feels that everything. It's ridiculous. Cheng Jiahu couldn't control his anger and laughed coldly, saying that Lu Zhou, you are too much to destroy your name. And take my money. You don't use any tricks. Then he threw the lawyer's letter to the ground in contempt. Keep going. We have the best team of lawyers to see what you can do. And then you will spend money on lawyer fees. And realizing that he couldn't win, Mr. Chen, the manager, sighed, pouring more oil on the fire. This is not simple. He must compensate. The other party has invited a celebrity cyber novel lawyer who always wins the lawsuit. Hu Nan. I didn't expect the opponent to be so strong. And his anger burned even more in his heart, full of indignation. While when I came back, rented apartment, I was surprised to see my belongings piled up in the hallway, and inside the landlady who was letting me clean hurriedly asked my uncle. This is why the landlady smiled wryly. My son is coming here from abroad, which is my wedding house. So I can't rent it out to you anymore. I'm very confused. But you said you can rent it for at least a year. Why are you chasing me away now without warning and taking all the solid things out in the rain? How can I find it? At this time, the landlady smiled wryly and said, I'm sorry for the sudden arrival of the rent. I will pay it back in full. Recently, there are also many houses for rent. I keep looking for it. Is not difficult. In fact, the landlady has agreed to rent it to a big star at a fraction of the price. That's why she doesn't care about me anymore. My heart is cold, although the landlady says it easily. The houses around here are all closed. The tenant still has the house that my father gave me that has not been repaired. I can't live in it right away. I really don't have a place to go after receiving it. I took my bag and walked in the rain and dragged a pile of luggage to the gate of the apartment complex to protect it from. I had no choice but to stand there, drenched in rain, looking miserable, trying to call a car. Through the application, suddenly a pourer rushed through the water splashed on me. Looking up, I saw the person sitting in the main car. It was Cheng Jiawei. He looked at me with pride, as if I was a loser. I coldly pulled out my phone and took a picture. License plate and then called the traffic police team. Hello, I want to report a car that has been altered and splashed dirty water on me. The license plate is after. Hung up. I contracted because I was sitting on the side of the road, trembling because of the cold. I couldn't catch the car through the app and there was no surroundings. A taxi suddenly stopped in front of me when I saw the person walking down. My heart. How do you know I'm here about things related to my brother? I don't need to ask. Someone always tells me. Shen's voice. Lemong was cold, but in her eyes when she looked at me full of pity. She came home. A simple sentence made me almost cry. It's been a long time since anyone told me this. The car stopped in front of the Chin family's house. Confused. Why did we go home? Why did you come here? You came to see Chin Chen Zen star. Shen Lemeng frowned slightly. I just bought a house opposite the Chin family's house. I was surprised to know that the villa opposite the Chin family's house, more spacious and luxurious than the Chin family. But it has been empty for many years. I didn't expect her to buy it. Why did she buy it in? Here I ask because I don't want people to think you're a quitter. You have to come back as a winner. You are the father of my child and that person must be the one who stands on the high ground, not the one who is ridiculed by others. Shen Lemeng warmed my heart. I felt her care after taking a shower and changing clothes. Help with the preparation. I feel more comfortable when I go downstairs. In the dim light of the living room I saw a woman sitting with her back on the sofa, her hands lightly placed under her chin and her eyes were fascinated as if they were coming out. Signal me drink something. Then I realized that there was a bowl of ginger tea in front of me. Doubt was obviously. Lemong has prepared it for me because I have a cold after taking a shower. I thank you softly and pick up the bowl to drink, but as soon as I click the first sip I spat out immediately. Shen Lemeng, who was always calm, was a little confused this time. Why was it so sweet? I wrinkled. The sweet feeling on my face numbed my heart, making me use Shen Li's eyes to avoid being a little unnatural. Maybe the chef's hands were shaking, and at that time I noticed that her fingers had a small piece of bandage on them. So I hurriedly asked for her hand. What's wrong? It's okay, it's just a little bit of strength. Shen Lemeng gently hid her hand behind her back. And then she said, let me tell you. The maid made me another bowl of ginger tea. No need. My resistance is very strong. I don't get a cold easily. Although saying that, Shen Lemeng still turned to the maid and gently told the kitchen to make another bowl of ginger tea. And then he turned his gentle eyes to look at me. From now on, this is your home. Just relax and tell the maid to open my door. A little surprised and asked what you meant by the contract. I was going to give you a house. Shen Lemeng replied in a very gentle and natural tone. But I haven't completed the task yet. Moreover, I haven't. Pregnancy. How can I get a house from you so easily? I frankly say I can't take advantage of it without the reason. She smiled slightly. I was going to tell you later. But the plan has changed. Shen Lemeng's eyes became deep. She paused for a while and then took out a pregnancy test from her pocket. I'm pregnant. I don't dare to believe my ears. How pregnant is it? But my gaze stopped at the 2 red lines on the test strip, clearly highlighted. I almost screamed because of the swell. Shen Lemeng nodded. A smile appeared on her lips. That I was really pregnant. For more than 2 weeks. I almost wanted to jump up and down because of the happiness that I couldn't hold back my joy. Ask me if I'm hungry. I'll cook noodles for you. Are you tired? Do you want to go to rest? Do you have pain? Massage me. Look at me with an excited childish expression. Shen Lemeng just smiled softly, as if coaxing a child. Young now. The pregnancy is still small. It doesn't affect me at all. Don't worry too much. I look at her eyes full of tenderness. First of all, I'm pregnant. Everything needs to be careful. You should stay here so that I can take care of. Shen Lemeng looked at me softly, laughing. Like you're mocking. It sounds like you've had experience. I laugh lightly. I don't have it, but I can learn what I did. Have studied a course of pregnant women. Although it is not perfect, but with more caregivers, it will be safer for me to see the light. My sincere eyes. Finally Shen Lemeng nodded slightly in agreement. The next day when I walked around the light shopping mall, my eyes stopped at a pair of thick flats. Shen Lemeng Nagong always wore thick heels, but now she was a pregnant woman who needed to wear shoes. More comfortable. When I was about to pay, I turned around and almost bumped into a girl. She blushed, looking confused and seemingly worried. His hand gripped the hem of Chen's skirt. In meditation, I exclaimed in surprise. This world is so small. We met to meditate again, looking at the flat shoes on my hands. My eyes showed a look of surprise. Of course, she thought I was buying shoes for herself because her birthday was coming up. She thought I would be confused and worried about changing shoes, but I was completely calm again. And then I was surprised why you were standing there. I didn't fit in it, I sighed softly. The shoes. Hey, don't buy me. My sentence made Chen Xian suddenly shut up. She tried to smile. I know. You're just pretending to be like that to surprise me, right? I don't know if it's okay to coordinate with him to act in a surprise scene. But Xiao Chen's eyes just imply a mischievous tone. Need to let the saleswoman wrap it up. I'm going to wear these shoes. The old shoes are hurting my feet. But hey, I'm still angry with you. So I have to buy another fruit. Don't think that just one pair of shoes is enough for me to forgive. I don't understand the meaning of Chen. Chen smiled lightly and said, I don't think I did anything wrong to be forgiven. Believe it or not, it depends on these shoes. I didn't have to buy it for you. I didn't wait for Xiao Xiao to react. I ignored her and went straight to the Xiao Xiao payment counter. Thien stood and buried his feet in place, so surprised that he couldn't say a word. He had always carefully taken care of her eyes. He had always watched her. But now he treated her like a stranger, swearing to feel extremely sorry for himself. The wrong person is you. The person who betrayed you is also you. So why do you dare to be so cold to you? Why do you treat me as the stranger? Chen angrily shouted behind me, hearing the sound of me turning my head and looking directly into her eyes. Not, what do you say that when we meet we will be two strangers? Just one sentence has stifled the reproaches of meditation. Looking at the shadow of my back, Isaiah gradually Miss T's tears rolled down her cheeks. Idiot, I told you to do. If I tell you to die, you will also make Long Chen look like. The saleswoman saw this and hurried to comfort her. Don't cry anymore. Maybe he's trying to surprise. For her to be short-sighted for a while. Then nodded in agreement. Yes. He must have deliberately quarreled with each other to find out later. How to make me happy to think about this. Xiao Xiao's mood gradually improved when I returned to the villa and just walked in. I saw Shenla Dream sitting on the sofa. Just woke up. She wore a light blue nightgown with our red lips formed. A curve seduces you to come back. Ah, her voice is a little sluggish. I'm surprised it's night. But you just woke up tonight. Then how can Shenla Meng just reply softly? And then I frown. I know you. This is very busy. But you need to know how to arrange a reasonable rest time. Especially when you are pregnant. Can't keep overdoing it like that. She lowered her eyes. Her tone was a bit gloomy. I'm not so busy. It's just that I don't. Sleeping insomnia makes her have to make up for her work. Have you gone to the doctor? I am listening to Shenla Meng smiled slightly. If there is. I didn't lose sleep. And then I frowned. This is really a serious problem. Pregnant women need to sleep. I have to find a way to help her overcome her insomnia. What do you buy? Shenla Meng paid attention to the shoes in my hand. I bought for my sister. I replied, you're bribing me. She raised her eyebrows. It's not wrong to try to win my heart. But if you think that just one pair of shoes is enough, you're wrong. And I shake your head. Pregnant wearing high heels is very dangerous and uncomfortable. Until the end of pregnancy, your feet will be swollen and can't be at any time. I also walked with high heels. My words briefly surprised Shenla Meng. Everyone has always tried pampering her to achieve what she wanted. But the man in front of her didn't have any ambition. His eyes were really warm and sincere. Someone is so simple. Why is she frowning slightly? Her eyes showed curiosity. I handed her a pair shoes for Shenla Meng, but she refused. I don't need. Why am I surprised to ask if you don't like this figure is not good. I only wear shoes reserved. Shenla Meng looked directly at me. My sharp eyes. My shoes are all good. Ordered separately and very expensive. It's okay, I replied. I will try to buy if you don't have enough money. Shenla Meng just smiled lightly. I don't care. Price heart anyway. It can't be as expensive as my shoes. So why don't you like me? I'm curious to ask what size shoes. 37. How do you know I'm going that far? Shenla's eyes lit up like crystal. The gaze penetrated me. I felt a little embarrassed that I peeked into your shoe cabinet. If you were going to give a gift, you must at least know your shoe size. Shenla Meng. I don't reply, and I don't want to force her. I'm sorry for buying something you don't like so I can return it. When I was about to take the shoebox away, Suddenly Shen Lemeng's slender hands with red-painted fingers gripped the shoes. And I was surprised to see her with white feet that had been put on my brother's flat shoes. I received Shen Le. Dream like a queen, full of pride and confidence, and hold up the beautiful swan neck. Thank you, I love to see it. My eyes became gentler, and I smiled back. No need to thank you. It's okay. When I go upstairs to look after the housekeeper. Seeing the shoes on Shen Lemeng's feet, she couldn't help but be amazed. Xiao Shu, why are you wearing cheap flats? Isn't it you? I hate this kind of thing the most. I have to know that since Shen Lemeng attended the royal banquet when she was 12 years old, she has changed completely. She cried and never wore flat shoes again. Threw away all the flat shoes except for sneakers. Then she started to learn how to wear high heels until now. But now she accepts to wear the floor that people always change. Shen Lemeng gently said that I am no longer the stubborn girl of the old days. The next morning I was going to go to the door near the house to buy a few seeds and vegetables in a small garden to grow clean vegetables to eat. Will definitely good for Shen Lemeng's health, who was pregnant, had just walked out of the gate of the villa. I was met by a Ferrari just stopped from the car. A couple of men and women stepped out of the car and didn't expect it to be short-sighted. Seeing me, her eyes were full of surprise. And she presented. Who frowned. And he quickly grabbed her shoulders. Short-sighted. Love rubbed her shoulder and said in a provocative voice, why are you here with a short-sighted meditation heart? It's a pity that we are very busy. If you don't mind being a light bulb, I won't say anything about premeditation that is uncomfortable with Cheng's intimacy. But thinking back to my cold attitude yesterday, she had to coordinate with Cheng Jiahu to see the scene. The statue in front of me just calmly said, sorry, I didn't come to look for Zhen Zhen. Cheng Jiahu laughed when he heard this. Find her, so you look for me. Don't joke me. I pointed to the villa behind and saying I can't live here. The sentence made Cheng Jiahu completely surprised. This is a red clay villa. The neighboring houses laughed at you. Are you joking? If you can buy a toilet here, it's lucky. Cheng Jiawei? Believing that I was just bragging, I just smirked coldly. You just check who the landlord is, and you will know that I have talking too much. Shen Lemeng has finished taking care of all the procedures. This villa is now in my name. I can see my confidence. Cheng Jiawei began to panic. Obviously, a person who had been just a shadow of him was now treated better than him. Not only Cheng family, but also confused. Where do you get the money? Don't tell me. You work Fei. Dharma. Meditate. I'm worried that I've done something wrong to have money to buy a villa like this. I looked her in the eye. Seriously replied. Reassuringly. Every coin I earned was completely clean. At that moment a lazy voice was cold. It seems that I am late. It seems that I have missed something interesting from inside a woman's mansion. Beautiful Chen walked out and immediately stood up, the hair on the back of her neck. Although the Xiao family is also a big family. But in front of Shen Lemeng she was just like a short person, and the pair that woman was wearing was the pair of flat rags that I buy yesterday. Meditation shockingly realized that what I said was true. The shoes were indeed for others. Chen was painful. Her eyes were red. For the first time in her life, she felt such a strong desire for possession. She didn't want anyone else to get what she couldn't have. Her lips trembled. Her face was white. She clenched her fists. The skirt bodice couldn't believe what was happening in front of Shen Lemeng's eyes. And she just said softly. She couldn't make the words like tearing my heart to meditate. It turned out that the woman who made me change my mind was Shen Lemeng. She suddenly remembered the person. The woman who drove the car to pick me up that day was also Shen Lemeng. Was I attracted to a richer woman, and that's why I don't need you anymore? It's not surprising that I can live in this luxurious mansion. It's all thanks to Shen Lemeng. Realizing that look in his eyes, Xiao was filled with a feeling of loneliness and helplessness. And in Xiao's heart, tears sparkled in the corners of his eyes. At any time, Cheng Jiahu couldn't hide his shock. He gritted his teeth, his eyes full of jealousy. Looked at me as if they wanted to swallow me. I guess they must have misunderstood the relationship between me and Shen Lemeng. But I didn't. Sad explain, because even if you explain, the more you talk, the more I go buy seeds later. I said calmly. To Shen Lemeng. She nodded slightly. Her voice was soft. I waited for you. A very ordinary sentence. But it made. Xiao was in so much pain that he choked and watched the shadow of my back leave. Xiao couldn't hold back anymore. Immediately rushing towards Wan Cheng family, he cried out in surprise. But he couldn't hold her back in time compared to Cheng family's confusion. Shen Lemeng was still calm. His face was full of confidence. And he was not a little confused when he saw Shen Lemengcheng's calm expression. Hu hesitated, didn't dare to chase Shen Chen anymore. He turned to Shen Lemeng and said, I didn't expect your young lady to. The Shen family again set their eyes on an unknown person like Lu Zhou. He is not an unknown person. Shen Lemeng does not like these. Cheng Jiahu said that he has higher swordsmanship in his industry than you and also has more fans than you. But Shen Lemengru's words sprinkle more salt on the wounds of the Cheng family. He always wants to be famous. But forever. Didn't reach the peak, and after the incident 5 years ago he had to go abroad. His career was dying. I just hadn't. Seeing the right opportunity, Cheng Jiahu coldly replied to Lu Chao. It was lucky to have a person like her pushing behind his back. Shen Lemeng's eyes became cold. He achieved what was mainly due to his own efforts. I only helped She didn't want to hear anyone speak ill of Lu Zhou, even if it was just a small word. Seeing Shen Li's strong protective look, dream for Lu Zhou, Cheng Jiahu felt confused. He knew that Shen Lemeng was not a person who was easy to touch. So the words, his becoming softer. I don't mean anything, just worried about you. I don't want you to be deceived by him. Close to you. Who doesn't know what he wants? He's still involved with my ex-girlfriend. His ex-wife. He knows how to take advantage of women. Do you know why the short-sighted divorce is? Because he has deceived him so much. A lot of her money. He got married just because he wanted to cling to a rich family. Cheng Jiahu looked at Shen Lemeng full of pretending to be worried. But Shen Lemeng only smiled coldly. Her eyes flashed a cold glint. A person like him just got used to. I didn't long advise me to watch out if he was stupid or I was stupid. Shen Lemeng's eyes became sharp. I was not moved by Cheng Jiahu's words. I never judged others by the words of outsiders. I only believed what I knew about him. Seeing that Shen Lemeng was not at all persuaded, Hu secretly bit his teeth. He didn't expect Lu Zhou to be able to made Shen Lemeng protect him like this. Shen Lemeng stepped closer to Cheng Jia. The strong aura made him involuntarily stepping back. There is something you should know, Shen Lemeng said coldly. If you dare to make Lu Zhou shed a tear, I will make him suffer for the rest of his life. Shen Lemeng turned around and walked into the villa, not bothering to look back in the store. I found out that Xiao Xiao was following me with contempt. Her eyes didn't let me ignore me sadly. Low eyes. Say anything. It's obvious that she has a lot to say. I didn't expect him to fall to this extent. Selling himself cheaply for money and beauty. He didn't find disgusting and short-sighted. Without any hesitation, criticized me. I pursed my lips and replied disappointedly. This is how you look at me. How much did she give you? 1 million, 10 million, 2 billion, Zhen Chen asked coldly in an angry tone. My eyes were full of disappointment. My heart was torn apart. Who would want to hear bitter words from the person I once loved? Like the recent events that have exhausted me, and Xiao Chen's misunderstanding only makes things worse for me. If you gave me those money, I'm not afraid my boyfriend will be jealous. Why am I pretending to be arrogant in response? I don't see. What you're saying is too limiting. Why are we divorced and we weren't husband and wife before? It's really just a contractual marriage. A sentence that is suffocating, but how can it be like that for 5 years? Haven't you ever felt anything for me? Why did you try to suppress the pain and depression in your heart? I stood there quietly looking at the face of the girl I once loved, saying that I had no emotions at all. It's definitely a puppet, but I know very well that there is no way back between me and Xiao Xiao. Even though she is no longer there. But if I really get back to her, how can I be sure that she won't leave me again because someone else? My eyes are red, and I tell Xiao Xiao that everything is over. We should all catch it. At the beginning of a new life. Chen Chen looked at me indignantly. His eyes were red. How could he not go back to Lu Chao? Could it be that La? How good is the dream? This has nothing to do with her. Don't drag her into me. Squeeze softly in my heart. The face was calm when she looked at Chen Chen, but she began to lose control and screamed. He protected her. Chen Chen tears flowed. Hello. I've changed. Lu Zhou. I've never protected anyone in front of you like this before. Seeing Xiao Chen lose control, I sighed deeply. You should calm down. Now it's useless for you to say anything. If we continue like this, it's only both sides are suffering. Stop meditating. I'm an emotional person, but that doesn't mean I'm going to turn around even if, believe it or not, it's time to turn the page. Just like the contract ended before the relationship deadline. We should stop here. After speaking, I tried to suppress the tears that were about to come out. Turned my back on the meditation Ms. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and greeted me in a sweet voice. Can we sign another contract? This is the first time. Xiao Xiao begged me so much that she also felt like she was crazy. But she still did it. I was really surprised. Nguyen. He didn't expect that Xiao Xian was so resolute. But just like last time, there was no reason to continue. No need, I said softly and took the seeds and went to the checkout counter when I had just walked a few steps out. The store suddenly sounded a shrill siren. The alarm only sounded when someone stole my body. Trembling slightly, she hurriedly turned her head and saw a girl who was being held back by the store clerk. She had not paid for the item. This item, the staff reminded politely. The girl's eyes were full of tears. She deliberately raised the package of snacks as if she wanted to. Tell me, you won't abandon me. My heart is like a loss. And finally I take a deep breath and walk. Then went out without looking back. This was the first time I chose not to interfere with Lu Zhou. He didn't turn. How could you regret it? Short-sightedly watched me leave immediately. Collapsed. Her tears were like rain. Drops by big drops falling. Her cheeks were unsteady and soon her whole body collapsed to the ground and fainted. An hour later, in the villa next to Xiao Xiao, sitting on the windowsill, his eyes watching Cheng Jiahu walk in. Seeing her fragile little figure sitting on the tall window sink, he could fall down at any time. Panic. Wan Wan, what are you doing going down to the family friend to panic her? Pulled her down, but Natalie didn't move, even clumsy, pushed Cheng Jiao's hand out. And Cheng Jiahu looked at her. Xiao Xiao's eyes and seeing me Lu Zhou gardening in the premises of the villa next to Cheng Jiahu felt humiliated. Elegantly, from childhood to adulthood, he had never been surpassed by others. And now he was surpassed by a replacement. He couldn't. After all, who is his brother's boyfriend or me? He roared in anger. Who tried to swallow again, choosing the pain that was choking in my throat. I didn't know anymore. I couldn't control myself. I was attracted to Lu Zhou the most when I found out that he was living with Shen Lemeng. I felt that I couldn't stand him. It's just that he is greedy for money. After divorcing me, he immediately hugged that rich girl. I think he still remembers me. No, he was with Shen Lemeng just for that reason. What was the reason for that? Money and beauty. I think he can be honest with me. I'm also just for the sake of money. And now he sleeps with Shen Lemeng every night. Do you ever think about my feelings? Shut up and go to meditation. Chen was agitated, did not hesitate to slap Cheng Jiawei hard. Cheng Jiawei's face immediately turned red from the slap. He couldn't believe it. His hand hugged his face. His mouth trembled with shock. Meditation was the same as Huang looked at his hand. Not believing. I just slapped out. Sorry, I can't control myself. I just don't want to hear you say those words anymore. Hu felt tired and exhausted. He couldn't bear to be short-sighted. Still thinking of Lu Zhou. Treating him as invisible. If you like him, I can let him. You go in the end. I just want the person I love to be happy. He spoke in a pitying tone. Trying to be humble. It's all because of me. I can't afford to bring you happiness. If you choose him, it's understandable. I hope you will meet a good man. Not like Lu Zhou or me, who are not worthy of Cheng Jiahu. Pretending to be weak, his eyes were red, and his voice was hesitant, as if he was about to cry. Seeing Cheng Jiahu collapse and shrink Chen's inner self, Xiao Xiao was filled with a strong sense of guilt. She remembered Cheng Jiawei's endurance when he was sick before. Her heart was emotionally unstable. But she made Cheng Jiahu apologize. It's my brother's fault. Don't think like that. Chen Xiao was annoyed and comforted Cheng Jiao. Cheng Jiao saw the fish biting the fish. Obviously, I'm laughing silently, but not showing my joy. It's okay. It's just that you're too touching. Sentimental. I'll shoot more movies, more work, more busy. Will be better with someone who is possessive like you. Also feels choked. Breathing. He understands. But recently it was only because he was excluded from the film crew that he became a laughingstock for other colleagues. So the mood was a little bad. That sentence made Qin Chenxian stunned. He was eliminated. The film crew. Shen Lemong is the producer, Lu Chao is the screenwriter. But it is also impossible to play badly on you like that. But Qin Xiao bit his red lips a little angrily. His arm was broken. There is no other way to be thied. I am a person who has no voice. If I have a little fame, I will definitely not meet the scene. Cheng Jiahu shook his head, his voice full of regret. It's okay. Zhen Xiao comforted Cheng Jiahu. My uncle is a tycoon in the entertainment industry. I will ask him to send the best scripts to you. Cheng Jiawei's eyes immediately lit up. That was the sentence he was waiting for. He chose to resume his old love with Chen is precisely because she has a relationship in the entertainment industry. Kai family's family background does not allow him to be excessive. He can only receive about 1 or 2 million per win from the family fund if he can. Relying on Qin Chen Xiao's help to make a mark in the entertainment industry. Life will be different anyway. The third and fourth ranks can also earn millions per month if you can enter the first group. Needless to say, then, it's not very good. Cheng Jiahu is still deliberately pretending to be humiliated. You are a man who has to rely on his own strength. It's okay anyway. Resources are available, why not use actually? Qin Chen Xiao is feeling guilty after all. She has hurt Cheng Jiahu. She had also neglected him recently. So she wanted to use resources to make up for it. Qin Xiaoxiao fell into the garden below when he saw the charming beautiful woman appearing next to Lu Zhouhai, who did not leave each other half a step. She felt pain. Qin Xiaoxiao tugged hard at the curtains, trying to hide her emotions. My chaos meditation the other day, I came to my house to meet my parents. My heart slamming in surprise looked at Cheng Jiahuo's deep eyes so suddenly. Hearing Qin Xiao Chen say that Cheng Jiahu felt funny. Of course, because the longer it is, the more difficult it is. He knows very well that only when she has a marriage with Qin Xiaoxiao will she be wholeheartedly devoted to you. My parents want to see you anyway. It's been a long time since they saw you. Cheng Jiao, pretending to be deep, why don't you want to? Qin Chen Xiao lowered his eyes, shake his head first. How could Cheng Jiahu not want to just decide to go like that? If Lu Zhou didn't take her seriously, she would definitely not shoot head, because brother Lu Zhou will definitely regret abandoning her until the time he cries and apologizes, kneel down and beg her. She will also, without turning his head at this time. Lu Zhou had already sounded the seed. He felt that there was a shadow. The figure in front of him raised his head to see Shen Lemeng's beautiful face. Why did you come here? This place is dirty. Don't get your clothes dirty. Lu Zhou said with a gentle smile. Easily replied, it's okay at home. She is always bored. Her hand is on her chin, full of interest. Come here, try to experience a little bit of Lu Chao's face warming up. I'm sorry. Turn my land into a vegetable garden. Why'd I have to apologize to you? The house I gave you is yours. Do you have the right to use it? But Shen Lemeng said softly. Lu Zhou's eyes became gentle. Or do you try to see how the soil is dug up? How is Lu Zhou discovering that she is like a child who is eager to learn how to do it? She is not like the words. The rumor that it was difficult to approach was just that outsiders were prejudiced against her. Lu Zhou began to take Kwok as a model to do this. Cultivating the soil, pulling out the porous silk soil without impurities. Shen Lemeng looked at it and took the hoe from Lu Chao's hand. She couldn't do it. Like L.C. Chao, who was a bit clumsy. I don't know if it was because Kwok was too heavy or she was not used to it. But Lu Chao felt that she was like encountering shyness, frowning, biting her red lips. It was obvious that she was struggling. Lu Zhou. She couldn't help but laugh, feeling that she was not like the usual cold female genius at this time. But she looked quite naive and lovely. Or let me do it for you. Lu Chao suggested that she refused to do it herself. That Belgian stubbornness made her cheeks swell slightly. Her aggressiveness suddenly arose, and Lu Chao smiled more and more brightly. He was like watching a funny play, standing next to him and observing. Although he had no talent, but it was obvious that his diligence, able to make up for the shortcomings. Shen Lemeng seemed to have found the rhythm of her movements that were becoming more and more proficient in her long eyelashes. Shaking slightly, like stubborn wings, her red lips curled up slightly into a slight smile. She shared with Lu Zhou how good it was. Lu Zhou, encouraging Shen Lemeng to be even more enthusiastic. Her movements were somewhat stronger than Lu's. Chao was worried, slowed down a little. She smirked proudly. I don't know how to see you doing well. Lu Zhou took out a small box. He gently pinched a earth tremor from the box, intending to let it loosen the ground. Who suspected Shen Le? As soon as she saw the trembling, she was startled, and took a few steps back. And Asia Lu Zhou was surprised to see Shen Lemeng panicking. Almost fell to the ground. He quickly shouted with one hand to support Miss Shen Le. Dream fell into his arms. His hair was messy. His face was pale. His breath was heavy. His eyes flickered constantly when he saw the smell. The gentle fragrance from the laundry detergent on Lu Zhou's shirt suddenly blushed. And Shen Lemeng's cold face suddenly turned red, appearing a pale pink, a slender body in his arms. But Lu Zhou didn't have time to pay attention to his lost feelings. He worriedly asked if it was okay, but if there was anything uncomfortable. Shen Lemeng shook his head lightly and said to Lu Zhou, I'm okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're afraid of this. Lu Zhou is a little embarrassed. affecting the fetus. It's okay. I didn't say it in advance. But I saw the anxiety in Lu Chao's eyes in. Her heart suddenly rose to a warm feeling. I'm a pregnant woman. But I'm not so weak moreover. I'm about to fall. But Lu Zhou breathed a sigh of relief. If Shen Lemeng really fell just now, the consequences would be unable to imagine. Feeling her hot face buried in her chest, Lu Zhou's heart beat fast. Unusually, he knew that he had crossed the boundary. So he quickly let go of her, kept his distance, apologized, reassured him. Touch me a little. I won't blame you. She raised her face with beautiful eyes looking at Mr. An with a hidden smile. There are many things that are difficult to understand. Lu Zhou was a little embarrassed when he heard this. He cleared his throat. Here. Let me take you a break. You go to Shen Lemeng. About to nod but suddenly saw something when Lu Zhou was about to clean up. He felt the hem of his shirt being pulled slightly. A gentle voice rang out, enveloping Lu Zhouying, seeing her patting the stains on her shirt with her small hands. Your clothes are dirty, and then laugh away. I'll let someone take it to Shen Lemeng to wash. Shen Lemeng Sha saw that she couldn't brush off all the dirt. Her shirt was still raised. She immediately unbuttoned his shirt. Lu Zhou felt his head. Her hot fingers slid over the button of her shirt. The shirt was slowly taken off from the bottom up. Afraid of excessive exposure plus the feeling. C's finger touched it, making him feel confused and embarrassed. Lu Zhou stirred up. No need anyway. The shirt is dirty, brother. I still have to work a little dirtier. Laugh and wash it later. Actually, I'm not used to blanching in front of women. Especially in front of Shen Lemeng. He couldn't be more comfortable. Shen Lemeng also realized that she had not thought thoroughly. She was aware. My actions are a bit too hasty. As if I want something different. I'm sorry. I don't mean anything else. You also keep it. Distance from Lu Zhou. The cold and beautiful face was still a little flushed. It was okay for Lu Zhou to pretend to be calm and bow. Continuing the national land, Shen Lemeng turned around and walked into the house. While Lu Zhou was busy, he realized that the sunlight had returned. So it was more intense than sunshine. Bright white sweat poured like rain when he was squinting his eyes in the sun. Suddenly heard the sound of gentle footsteps. When Lu Zhou turned around, he saw Shen Lemeng's soft body standing in front of her, bowing her head, holding a sun hat in her hand. This is really. It was the rain at the right time that Lu Zhou couldn't refuse anyway. The sun was too harsh in the middle of the hot season. And even the ticks were tired. Lu Zhou bowed his head and coordinated with Shen Lemeng, feeling her sweet fragrance surrounding her fingertips. Very soft to touch, his skin still cool. He greedily felt the coolness from her fingers when he had a sun hat on. The harsh sun no longer made it difficult for him. And a cool breeze also blew through, bringing with it another pleasant chill. No, she asked if it was okay after a while. Lu Zhou saw Shen Lemeng quickly walked into Lu Chao's house, surprised to see that she brought out a cup of chilled thatched tea. He really didn't. He couldn't help but feel touched because he could clearly sense that someone was caring about him. Ever since his mother died, he was like a child. No one needed to shoulder the whole family. His marriage to Qin Chen Xiao was also mainly taking care of others. Lu Chao has a personality that always wants to please everyone. He is used to treat others well, get used to giving everything to them. Why just because you don't want to be hated by people? Now, in front of Shen Lemeng, you have become the one to be taken care of. I don't know what you like to drink. Miss pause for a moment. Is this okay? She's only seen Lu Zhou drink this a few times. Maybe you can't hate it. Lu Zhou Nong must be the kind of person who is picky. Shen Lemeng caring about him like this is too good for him to hold. Shen Lemeng himself put the straw to his mouth like that. She wouldn't be afraid of getting dirty anymore. She explained that her eyes were as beautiful as the spring lake. The gentle ripples. Lu Zhou drank a sip of the sweet and sour cool flavor that spread in his mouth instantly made him cooling down. Was delicious. He smiled and replied, seeing her sweating profusely under the green sun. Chao was a little worried about going to the house to go to the sun. It was okay. He took a few more sips. Then I'll go to Lu Zhou. Realizing that Shen Lemeng is also quite stubborn. I'm serious. Saying that I am pregnant now. I have to take care of my body if I have a sunstroke. Seeing that Shen Lemeng has no intention of leaving, Chao quickly watered a little, then led her into the villa. And then my work was done. I will come in with you. In looking at Shen Lemeng's beautiful face, red from the sun, Lu Zhou frowned. I am really not afraid of being blackened. Shen Lemeng casually replied to the white sister. Lu Chao was choked by her words. I don't know how to respond, maybe this is a kind of bragging. But Shen Lemeng is not bragging. The truth is that she is very white like an elephant. Although it is a little red by the sun. But it is just like lightly striking a little chalk. The pink cheeks are still white and pink. In addition, she is a bold beauty with thick black eyelashes like a feather fan. The little one shook like a fan in the lap of the person waiting for a little Lu Zhou to hold her back and run fast. Upstairs. When he turned downstairs, Shen Lemeng saw that he was carrying a jar of English aloe vera. Ran to panting. His breathing was uneven, but his eyes were still shining. Sincerely sparkling like stars. This type is definitely not as expensive as my nourishment products. Even if it is just a small internal electrical product. But it is really very good. If you get sunburned, using this type is very effective when you bring out a jar of Zello HOI. Feeling embarrassed, Shen Lemeng definitely wouldn't take this cheap product seriously. Seeing Shen Lemeng's eyebrows slightly furrowed. Lu Zhou is about to retreat. Come on. The rich lady is often very afraid of being damaged. And does not trust the product. It's normal when he was about to raise his hand to give up. His wrist was gripped tightly by Shen Lemeng. Why stop? Shen's eyes. Lemeng became warmer. Her red lips slightly raised into a curve. Where it was red, I applied it to help her. She leaned slightly. With a smile on his face. He poked Lu Zuzhou in surprise. He didn't expect Shen Lemeng to make such a suggestion. But he wasn't either. The kind of person who is shy. So Lu Zhou took some aloe vera hang on his fingertips. Gently approached and applied. For her perfect skin was right in front of her eyes. Although her gaze didn't stop on him. But Lu Zhou still, feeling extremely tense. His fingertips felt the temperature and elasticity of her skin as soft as a fine petal. The membrane-like she made him not dare to leave his hand a little. Just touching Ms. Lu Chao's red lips and hurriedly retracted his hand. His earrings were red. Duck didn't dare to stay long. But Shen Lemeng didn't seem to care about her. And even pulled out Zone's long hair. Lightly dropped to her shoulders to reveal her silly white swan neck and beautiful collarbone. Her eyes sparkled like water. Essence radiates tenderness as soft as spring water. Along with that, from her exudes a sweet charm like a peach. Both soft and mesmerizing. She said that it also needs to be applied here. Lu Zhou's pharynx undulated up and down. He tried to suppress the temptation. A warm hand on her skin. He tried to carefully massage and apply the aloe vera swing to her skin. Shen Lemeng's skin. It looked even softer and smoother. After applying it, it emitted a little sparkle. Her eyes seemed to be more and more gentle. And lighter than the cool feeling. It will definitely not be allergic. I have never suspected. Expecting that. Shen Lemeng paused for a moment. I always trust you. That sentence made Lu Zhou's breathing heavy. More than a few parts. The distance between the two seemed to narrow. Did he want to? Her rosy finger took a little aloe vera hanging before Lu Zhou could answer. He felt the cold eyes gently rub his face with cold beauty. Shen Lemeng's search suddenly contained a bit of mischief of a little fox. Her eyes narrowed slightly in confusion. Hurriedly explained. His face suddenly flushed. Obviously her touch didn't last more than a few seconds. But now it feels like the fire was burning on his face. In order to avoid embarrassment, Lu Zhou quickly found an excuse. He lifted the green bad fruit from the table. I eat is not very sour. Pregnant women. Don't you have to like sour food? Who told you so? She giggled. So is that you like to eat spicy? Lu Zhou thought for a while. Isn't there a sour saying? Boys are spicy. Girls, why do you hear that? Shen Lemeng. The louder she laughed. Her eyes sparkled. He was right, but I haven't had such a big reaction in less than a month. She, as he spoke softly, put his hand on his stomach. His stomach was flat, and there was no sign of it. Yes. So if you want to eat sour, just told him that he would pick it for the village chief and told the elderly to say that this grass can prevent nausea during pregnancy. I will climb trees to pick stars. My family has a lot of these plants. When I was a kid I was very naughty. I liked to climb trees sometimes. He even thought he belonged to the Luke Chow monkey family and laughed when he remembered his childhood memories of once falling from a tree and being hit by a broken bones for 2 months by his father at that time. But he still sneaked up the tree. Probably during the late rebellion. Brother Lu Zhou's membrane finished telling the story and looked at Shen Lemeng with an eager expression. As for you. Shen Lemeng's smile gradually turned off her. Slowly said, I don't know how to climb a tree. I know, but I really can't relate. The image of Shenla dreaming of climbing a tree with her ethereal appearance. My childhood is not the same as mine. Seeing Shenla, the dream hesitated and suddenly felt that her heart seemed to freeze. Is she a strong American type? Experienced bad things in my childhood and I accidentally touched her scar and didn't ask. He hurriedly apologized, afraid that Shen Lemeng would be sad when he recalled the old story. As a result, Shen Lemeng saw a worried look of Lu Chao. Ms. smile slightly. Do you think that you have experienced something tragic when you were a child? No. Don't think. Too many statues of Shen Lemeng. On the contrary, is the person of An Luke Chao M is only the heir of the family since childhood. My destiny is different. My parents have asked me to be a little harsher. I don't have any memories. Bad for Shen Le. Dream said softly, listening to Ms. Lu Chao's explanation. Breathed a sigh of relief. May. Oversized Lemong did not have to go through a traumatic childhood because an unhappy childhood would take a lifetime to heal. However, Lu Chao also understood that being born into an elite family like her, the pressure that Shen Lemeng had to bear was definitely not like ordinary people. Each person has a different journey of growing up. Perhaps it is thanks to the strict requirements of her parents since childhood that she has become the person she is today. Lu Chao and comforts. But now you don't have to shoulder everything yourself. I'll take good care of you. After saying this sentence, Lu Zhou realized that it was a bit awkward. But he honestly said that although there was no love between him and Shen Lemeng, but she was pregnant and he felt a responsibility for her. Even if it was just a transaction, Shen Lemeng still had a look fragile and vulnerable. He couldn't help but want to protect her. On Shen Lemeng's cold face, a glimpse of tenderness. She did not nod, but there was a hint of erection and compromise in her eyes. No. As for the thorn rose, when the conversation between Lu Zhou and Shen Lemeng ended, he received a call. He saw. It was a call from the editor. He told Shen Lemeng. He answered the phone for a while. Then he walked into the corridor quietly. More quiet to listen to the phone. Hello, what's wrong? The editor just asked him. Listening to the helpless tone of the editor of Nanhua Publishing House who didn't plan to publish his novel anymore, this made Lu Zhou extremely astonished. Why didn't the contract be signed? Why did he cancel the helpless editor? Answer. It's true that the contract was signed. But before the editor-in-chief could sign it, they were really old foxes, deliberately leaving this move. Only, we can't do anything about it morally. I want to know what the reason is. Chao frowned, asked. They suspected that he was a risky writer. Signed the contract that day. There was a little misunderstanding. Someone came to the publishing house to catch him. The cousin probably misunderstood something. The editor sighed, adding that they were going to promote a novel of the throne. Otherwise, they spend their own money to publish and do marketing. And our books are because they spend money to print them. When evaluating the market, they saw that the other option was safer. Lu Zhou felt that there was something very suspicious. He asked the star. He is a fresh meat. The fans are very willing to pay for him. I heard that he even spends his own money. The market published on Weibo has already started to heat up first. And then responded very well. Hearing the name of Cheng Jiahu, Lu Chao's eyes immediately cold. It turned out that he was done with everything. It was obvious that this was Cheng Jiahui's trick. Thinking about it and finding it really annoying. Laughing in an era when capital manipulates. If there is no support, there is no voice. And Lu Zhou took a deep breath. I'm a little tired in my heart. Okay, I understand. It's okay. Don't be too sad. His novel still has a lot of potential for publication. Especially we also have a film project to edit. Tried to comfort Mr. Lu Chao. Nodded at the moment. The book market is in a period. Difficulties in carrying and approving books very strictly. It is very difficult to obtain the reader book code of most printed books. Young girls, while men often prefer online works. But Lu Chao does not blame heaven and earth for failing. This time it's not a big deal. He will continue to strive to improve himself because opportunities only come to those who are prepared. If you are not competent when the opportunity comes, it is difficult to grasp without knowing the conversation between you and the editor. Yuan got into the ears of a woman. She didn't mean to overhear. Just happened to pass by and heard a few words in her eyes. Woman, bright reflection, beautiful face, glimpse of gloom when Lu Zhou turned around. She quickly hid. I avoided letting him find out the next day at Nanhua Publishing House in the border room. Episode already busy now becomes even more tense because of the appearance of a trembling person looking at the woman first. Her face was dressed in a long beige coat. Her long thick black hair was neatly tied up with pearl clips. And her eyes were cold. Ms. Ons is a little unhappy to see everyone Lu Chao's contract today. I need to see the talent right away. The famous maid and daughter of the richest family targeted Shen behind her as a secretary and a group of bodyguards. Wearing black doesn't look easy to deal with. All this makes the editor-in-chief tremble to the point of trembling. After all, Shen Lemeng is the brother who couldn't be touched. Heard the rumor that whoever made Shen Lemeng unhappy would be in trouble if he really won. Guilty to her is the next person to have an unfortunate incident is himself. The editor-in-chief trembled and said that the contract has been. Shen Lemeng's long and sharp eyes narrowed, and she immediately gestured with her eyes to the bodyguards. The bodyguards quickly understood what he meant, and immediately began to search the desk in the editorial room. What are you guys doing? The editor was panicked, but when he was about to stop Shen Lemeng, he glanced at him with cold eyes like a red rose full of arrogant and zealous. Rest assured I won't ruin your stuff. I just want to confirm one thing soon. After a bodyguard found a document and handed it to Shen Lemeng, she turned it over to the last page. Her eyes became even more brilliant like a burning fire. She gritted her teeth, pulled out the contract, and threw it directly at the editor-in-chief of the white paper. Black ink also dared to deny that the contract had been clearly signed. But the people who arbitrarily violated the contract had been fully signed. It should have taken effect. But because of greed, the publisher arbitrarily violated and deceived Lu Chao, a real person who set an example. The editor-in-chief's face was flushed with heat from the hot paper. And he saw his ice-cold face. Shen Lemeng was full of rage, which made him extremely frightened. He even forgot to cancel the copy. Save the contract. Unexpectedly, Shen Lemeng came here to inquire and cause a commotion right in the editorial room of Miss Shen. This is a misunderstanding. You heard me explain. And the editor-in-chief trembled and explained. I don't have time to listen to the clear people. Shen Lemeng replied contemptuously. A group of people joined forces to bully one person. It's interesting. She pauses for a bit. He can bear it, but I'm not the one who will put up with him. What he had lost, I would gradually regain. All her cold gaze that swept over everyone in the room. Everyone trembled, feeling like a big storm was coming. Especially when Shen Lemeng stood arrogantly. It was like a dark night trial ready to fall while Lu Zhou was typing on the keyboard in the room completely. I didn't know that someone was standing up to demand justice for me when I was forever in love with writing and received a call from Bian. Collector Lu Chao Shui's Hai-Yu publishing house has bought the copyright of his novel. He guessed how much it costs. 10,000. Poor thoughts limited his imagination. And then guessed a little higher. 80,000 low. And then they paid 200,000. I heard that there is also 15 ph of profit from publishing. This is the highest publishing fee I have ever been exposed to as an editor. Excitedly made Lu Zhou stunned to know that Hai-Yu publishing house was the largest publisher in the water, and now they are willing to pay such a large sum to publish his novel is as blurry as yesterday. He also received the news that the contract was cancelled by Namhua Publishing. But today the joy came so quickly after. At the end of the conversation with the editor, Lu Zhou's mood was extremely excited. His editor even introduced him to the editor of Hai-Yu Publishing House. They quickly made friends online. This time the contract was signed online to ensure more certainty. After agreeing the terms, they are happy to sign, and if nothing changes, novel will be published at the end of this year before the book is published. Lu Chao also received 50 copies of the model he has. Able to handle himself to his liking, Lu Zhou felt extremely excited. Soon he would see the words he wrote. It was printed into a book immediately. I wanted to share this good news. So I was happy. Walking downstairs, he saw Shen Lemeng drinking tea, and smiled and said that his novel had been confirmed. The next version, after editing, it will be released at the end of the year. Shen Lemeng smiled slightly. Her long eyelashes curled up. So it was time to read it first. When the baby was born, it was considered as an educational book for children. And then Lu Chao blushed. And Shen Lemeng's eyes should not be. It's not just that in your novel there are fist fight scenes that are not suitable for the education of the fetus. Does not affect my fetus. Why? Lu Zhou explained. I think you are so cowardly. Oh no, of course not. Lu Zhou shook his head. The smile was still on Shen Li's lips. Dream County gently rubbed her belly. He thought that the child's father is not the kind of coward. So surely our child will be very brave and not afraid of those things. She meets the continent of continent. Felt a surge of heat in his heart like an erupting volcano, which made him excited and clear. His heart felt sweet. Perhaps this was a compliment for him. This seemed to make him even happier than the fact that his novel was published. Gentle. Now she is really very soft, like a fairy in Greek mythology that makes people unable to take their eyes off. It is often said that women when pregnant exude a brilliance of motherhood. Yes. She went from being an inaccessible ice goddess to becoming gentle and radiant like a jewel at that moment. Shenle Dream threw me a card and grabbed it. Do you want me to buy something for you? To make you happy, Shenle Meng replied, which surprised Lu Zhou. Lu Zhou was stupid. The Nanhua village factory owes you the compensation I helped you reclaim. Then Shenle Meng said calmly, a total of 50,000 stars. Knowing this, Lu Zhou was surprised and asked Shenle Meng, smirking slightly, the important thing is not that I know, but me. It was enough for Lu Chao to be emotional and say thank you to you in my heart. I don't want to see my child's father at a disadvantage, she said, her hands gently rubbing her stomach with a more gentle gesture. Helping me is also helping my child is considered as money to buy milk. So a sentence about money to buy milk is indeed quite funny because it is clear that Shenle Dream is not short of money to buy milk. This sentence is just an excuse to help him. Lu Zhou also doesn't believe that she will use the number. But I feel the need to do something for my child even though this is just a transaction that can be treated as money. Buying milk at least helps her drink an extra sip of milk. Even though Shenle Meng has a fairly plump bust, their child will definitely. There is no shortage of food and drink. But there will be times when you need to drink milk and this money can also be used for that. Shenle Dream looked at Lu Zhou in surprise and didn't say anything. But her eyes showed that her joke had been thought by him to be true. Is the father of the child maybe not spending a penny? Lu Zhou is not the kind of man who is irresponsible. Even if this is just a transaction he can't ignore if something can be done for his child. At least he is not. The cold and emotionless Shenle Meng didn't say anything. But her eyes became more gentle, making her look like a cotton. Hua Hai showed her charming beauty because the novel was about to be published. Lu Chao was very careful about editing him, wanting to do his best to deserve his readers. He sits on a small sculpted chair in the garden. In front of him is the scenery. The flowers bloomed brilliantly, the scenery was pleasant, and the dense red milk tea was made by the servant, placed right next to Lu Chao. Staring at it intently. Go to the computer screen. Try to think about how to edit the text to perfection. Editing is more difficult than writing. If he had time to fix it, maybe he had already written 7 or 8 more chapters. And then he looked at it forever, making Lu Zhou's eyes ache. His hand went up to rub his eyes. But at that moment his hand was blocked from touching his eyes. His hand has a strong voice bacteria rumble. Lu Zhou looked up and saw Shenle Meng was standing in front of him. Her soft brown hair neatly clipped with shark clips that looked very clean. Will and neatly accentuate her plump and charming face. Beautiful eyes as smart as fox eyes. She wears the soft lace nightgown makes her look like a sexy but also charming Tran fairy. I have been here since. Come on. Lu Zhou smiled and asked for a while. And then didn't speak, for fear of disturbing him. She stopped him for a moment, writing so attentively that she didn't notice me when she saw Lu Zhou's eyes were red and bloody. She immediately showed her reproach. Gently pressing his shoulder made Lu Zhou embarrassed and wanted to avoid Shenle Meng teasing him. Why are you afraid that I will kiss you? So I panicked. Lu Zhou's body soared, and his voice was also higher than nothing. So listen. Brother's words don't move. I don't know where. Shenle Meng took out a bottle of eye drops and told Lu Zhou to look straight in there. Don't blink. Lu Zhou's breathing seemed to stop when Shenle Mengshen's beautiful face was so close to her that she was too beautiful.